he went from second gear to third gear, dropped the clutch, then you hear that chirping of the rear wheels as they fight to get some grip, but the back's already getting away from it. It happened so fast, and of course he was at the front of the field and he gathered up so many other people.
So Robbie Gordon's day has not started that well. He overslept the first practice. Now he's involved in the middle of this and is not in the top 20. We continue to be under yellow. 5 laps complete. We're on the 6th lap of the race, but they have called for the field to go back into rows of 2. Actually, I kind of like that. Gary Gerould, can you give us an update?
Well, indeed we can, Paul. We had thought that they were going to change the nose on Gordon's car. They started to unfasten some of the bolts, but then they elected not to. There was not significant damage, so they kept the spare nose on this side of the pit wall. Gordon got back out. The key, they didn't want to lose another lap to the field. They're already significantly behind.
And if anybody got away with a crime without any punishment, it was Adrian Fernandez, because he caused all that schmozzle, yet he only lost 2 positions. He is now 8th in the race, having gone down through the pit lane and gone back into line after the blend line.
So 7 laps into the record book, and we are really coming to the start of the race here, absent Arie Luyendyk and Jacques Villeneuve. Fittipaldi accelerates. Look at Tracy poke his nose in the back of Raoul Boesel. Mansell tries to the inside. Mario closes on Mansell. Dominic Dobson gets a nice run on the start, too. It's Fittipaldi leading down the backstretch. The first real lap of racing. And we're back to yellow. Back to yellow immediately. Report of contact with Eddie Cheever's car. No indication of who he may have gotten into as they went through turn 2.
And Stefan Johansson peels off, but we could see clearly Teo Fabi was another driver who begun to get sideways under acceleration, but Tracy made a nice smooth transition to the high line and went outside Raoul Boesel to tuck in behind Emerson.
And this may have been the car with the contact as they go to work on the right front of Stefan Johansson's car. Let's go down to the pits, and here's Jan.
Arie Luyendyk is nursing a sore hand. You've been released from the medical center. What is the prognosis with the hand there?
It's just bruised, but the start was ridiculous. The pace car brought us down so slow, and the front row. You know, we're supposed to have rolling starts because they're safer than standing starts. Well, this was like a standing start. And, you know, I don't think I could blame Fernandez for spinning around and losing it, because the start of the race was just way too slow. You know, we should have been much quicker. That's why we have rolling starts, and that's what upsets me, that, you know, experienced guys on the front row bring it down that slow.
Will your hand be okay for next week?
It'll be okay, but I was just really mad because my car, for some reason, it felt real good this morning in the warm-up, and it felt good out there now, and I was looking forward to a good race, and here we are spectating.
Thanks, Ed.
Thank you.
So Arie Luyendyk doesn't blame Fernandez. He blames the officials on the start of the race.
And that's an interesting side to hear of the story. Now, we could hear Fernandez was in a low gear. As soon as he grabbed another gear, which is probably third gear, it broke away. Of course, if they had come down 10 or 15 miles an hour faster, he would already have been in that gear.
Let's go pit side again, Gary Gerould.
Well, Stefan Johansson made a quick stop. The crew went to work on the right front suspension. They were tugging, pulling, trying to see if anything was bent or damaged. He may have been involved in that contact. He has now gone back out to rejoin the field at the back of the pack. Apparently, he's going to be okay to continue.
The scary thing, Gary, about what we could see the mechanics doing with Johansson's car, they were actually jumping on that top wishbone, trying to straighten it out. It looked like they were trying to straighten it out. Now, the stresses and strains that you get on high-speed ovals like this, that will be a worrying thought for Johansson. In fact, down the front straight here, as we look out of the commentary box of the booth here, he's actually yanking the car backwards and forwards to see, is everything strong enough to compete the race here.
So the way they will line up now with 11 laps complete, Fittipaldi, Paul Tracy, Raoul Boesel, Nigel Mansell, Mario Andretti, the top 5. Then Dominic Dobson, Adrian Fernandez, Al Unser Jr. in 8th, Teo Fabi in 9th, and 10th is Michael Andretti. They're going to give Robbie Gordon a black flag stop-and-go penalty for passing in the pit lane. We come back to speed.
Look at Tracy.
Tracy drops to the inside. Looks to block Fittipaldi getting into the corner. Fittipaldi won't have it. Boiselle closes. So does Nigel.
Brave move by Tracy.
Whoa, another car spins it. Whoa, and that's a serious look like Johansson. One of them upside down.
That's one of the Pac West cars. We can see it's a Pac West car. Huge crash on the back straight.
The field comes to a stop again. Not a good situation here. We'll keep an eye on it. Scott Sharp, but I don't see movement. We'll keep an eye on him. And we'll pray that everything's all right here. That's just a small turbocharged fire that you see. That's not a real problem to the car and not a threat to his safety.
So Mike Groff loses it, and he becomes a launching ramp for Scott Sharp's car, who then vaulted upside down. And Scott Sharp, you can see he moves, he takes the steering wheel off himself.
It looks like he's okay, and what he's afraid of is undoing his belts and dropping out on his head. The safety crew just now getting there. There they are.
And watch the launching ramp that Mike Groff's car becomes. Sends him upside down in a frightening, sickening succession of rolls. And thankfully, you dissipate energy when you have crashes like this as you roll down the racetrack, no matter how spectacular it looks. The safety crews, they are there, and Scott Sharp, thankfully, we saw him motioning to the safety crews to say he was okay, but possibly unsure how to extricate himself.
Mike Groff slid off the course and backed into the wall, his car along the inside. You talk about courage, look at these crew members. You don't know what's there. There could be methanol spilled. You don't know the structural integrity of that car. IndyCar safety team is excellent.
The scariest thing for a driver when you have a crash this big and you're upside down is fuel spillage. You are virtually trapped, and all sorts of thoughts begin to race through your mind, particularly about the fuel spill. So Scott Sharp, in his rookie year, lives locally here in Connecticut, has lots of family and friends here supporting him. He only qualified 18th. But his car owner, who we just got a shot of earlier, Bruce McCaw, will be thankful that his driver is okay, because racing cars are disposable items. You can always replace them.
You saw Bill Luchow there kneeling down on the side of the car, give a thumbs up back toward the medical team. I'm sure that means that just what do we see? He's okay. He's not okay. He's fine. Unbelievable.
He is getting a standing ovation from the crowd here on the front straight, because they just realized, it's in full view of everybody here, they just realized that he is safe, and that is the #1 thing that's important here.
Here's Robbie Gordon's view of this situation now that we know Scott's okay.
This is turn 2. There's Groff loses it. There's the launching ramp.
Oh, my goodness.
Whoa, Robbie Gordon.
I think Robbie got tapped in it. I think I heard an impact.
Yeah, wheel-to-wheel contact, an open-wheel car, causes some of this launching that we see with Scott Sharp.
Young Scott Sharp from up here in New England, smiling after that harrowing experience on the backstretch here in the Slick 5200. We'll be back. Yellow, and this is our third yellow of the day for the flip of the 71 car. Scott Sharp is okay, though they're going to check him over. This is Stefan Johansson. Remember, Derek said that there might be something wrong with that right front. Sure enough.
When you bend a suspension, then re-straighten it, it is weak, and the weak point has obviously broken here on Stefan Johansson's car. Now he's in the pit lane, and Gary is there.
When he came in the first time, we saw the crew tugging and pulling. What we couldn't see was how badly crinkled the upper wishbone was. He went back on the track, had to come in. Now they're replacing the entire suspension assembly on that right front side. It was dramatically kinked. No wonder he couldn't hang on to the race car. That was a result of that contact with Cheever prior to the incident involving Scott Sharp. What a crazy, crazy way to get this race going today.
Stefan Johansson obviously upset with the fact that his race is so prematurely coming to an end, and hoping that they can get it back repaired and get it going. Look at this. Unbelievable.
Now, he's just gone over the launching ramp. Watch here. One complete turn of the roll bar. Maybe does not actually hit the ground. Now he's firmly on the roll bar, but you can see the driver as Groff spins down to the inside. Scott Sharp protected in that survival cell that is the IndyCar cockpit as the rest of the car breaks up. Just what you like. Now watch this here. We'll stop the video and show you how Scott Sharp had no option but to hit Mike Groff. There's Groff. Groff spins backwards. Let it run another little piece. Now stop right there. Now Scott Sharp has elected to go to the outside. There is no room. Roll the video. He now becomes a launching ramp. Wheel to wheel, up over the top of it. That is our unmanned camera there, thankfully. This is flying shrapnel, still doing maybe 125 miles an hour.
And you know what we can't avoid here is how close Mike Groff came as the back of the car passed over the top of his cockpit. He may have, in fact, been in greater danger.
Now you see it from Robbie Gordon. You see how close he was. Gordon goes left. Watch this. Look at Groff right side. Boom. Does he hit him?
I think he did.
I don't know whether he hit him or not, but it was close.
Let's go to the pits again. Jan Beekes.
Well, the team owner of that car is Tom Armstrong. Tom, horrific crash. You could see it from this point. The good news is he's okay. Any indication from Scott on the radio or anything about the incident?
No, Scott was just complaining that somebody had spun and he got into the wall and got upside down, but I don't know any details on it. Scott talked all the way through it, so he's okay.
He had his finger on the radio button. What did he exactly? He was upside down flying through the air. He had his finger on the radio button?
Explaining to the crew where he was and what was happening.
Wow.
Interesting.
Thanks, Tom.
You're welcome.
Unbelievable. Tom's a co-owner with Bruce McCaw on that team. Scott Sharp radioing in, doing a little play-by-play of his own. We'll be back with more.
Because
20 laps, 21 now, have been completed as they cross the line. All 20 have been completed under 3 different yellow flags. But look at this. After flipping end over end and upside down, or side over side and upside down, now walking back at the south end of the pits and past the Chief Stewart's car is Scott Sharp. And he said, I don't really need to go to the hospital. I'll go see my friends, tell them I'm okay.
Bravery does count for a lot when you race at high speed between concrete walls. But when you have nerves of steel to survive an incident like that, he probably has no idea how spectacular that was. Wait till he sees the video when he gets home. But to think that he was on the radio, calmly talking to his crew, probably trying to get the car fixed in time to get back going again.
That's a jet airplane engine being towed. It's mounted sideways to try and get the debris that may have been involved in that accident blowing off the track. Let's go to the pits now, and Gary.
I don't know what to say. Welcome.